So I'm going to draw a little cross there, and I'm going to do the same on each of those 3 lines. I'm also then going to look for another mark which is about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in from the top and the bottom. And this will vary depending on the size of your signatures, because you want to make sure that as many of the different pieces of paper as possible are going to be caught inside the sewing. So just bear that in mind, depending on how different each of your signatures are. Once I'm happy with where I've placed those crosses, I'm going to use a piece of folded over piece of paper to make sure that I've got the same marks there. I'm just checking that it's all going to line up from where I've made the crosses on the first line, and then do exactly the same for the others. I'm also drawing in where the top and bottom of the cover are, and this will really help me with where I'm going to place my inserts. Now that I know I'm definitely happy with where my marks are, I'm going to pierce the 9 different holes. And for this, I'm using an awl, but if you've got a nice, sharp, thick needle, that will be absolutely fine too. So I'm carefully pressing that through from the inside and making sure that the hole goes right through. So if you followed the same process as me, by the end of this bit you should have 9 holes through your spine, which should be pretty much evenly spaced. If some of them are a tiny bit wonky, really don't worry about it. It's still going to work absolutely fine when we move on to the sewing stage. Now we're going to move to sewing in the first signature, and you want to gently tap your signature on the spine to make sure that all of the pieces of paper have fallen in and are exactly in the right place. Once you're happy that they're all settled nicely, I'd recommend using some paper clips to make sure that all of the pieces of paper stay in place. I like to use a paper clip on each side of the signature, and that really does help to keep those pieces of paper secure. I'm now going to measure this signature and find the centre point. And I'm going to mark that lightly with a pencil. Next, I'm going to bring my template over and make sure that those central points all line up. Then I can draw a line for where the outside cover is to make sure that my insert's going to sit inside there. I'm then going to mark those other 2 points. And this means that once we make the holes through the centre of this signature, they should line up exactly with the holes that we've already pierced on the spine of the cover. I'm now going to do the exact same thing with the remaining 2 signatures. So I'm adding those paper clips on both sides, and I've tapped the papers down to make sure that everything is going into the fold in the spine. I'm then using that template again, making sure that the lines for the top and bottom of the cover line up with the insert. And I'm then going to mark my 3 different points for where I'll be piercing the holes and sewing. This is definitely the part to spend a little time on, and make sure that you're really happy with the markings and the order of the pieces of paper, because this is going to make the sewing stage so much quicker and easier for you. Once you've made the marks on all 3 of your signatures, it's time to move on to piercing holes into these. And you're going to do this in the exact same way that you did with the cover, by finding the marks and gently pushing the awl right through the centre of that folded spine. You may well need to be a little patient at this stage because you're going to be pushing that awl through quite a few layers of paper. It's also worth turning your signature over and making sure that your hole's coming through in the right place.